Aloha mai kako. My name is Andrew Martin. I'm the prosecuting attorney for the county, and I wanted to just take an opportunity this evening to talk to you a little bit about some tools, some things that you can walk away with tonight that will empower you to be able to identify potential fraud and therefore become a fraud fighter yourself. It's good to see some familiar faces in the crowd here. I recognize some of you as having attended our fraud presentation at the Lahaina Civic Center 3 weeks ago. Myself and Paul Greenwood joined AARP and talked to a group of you about some of these very same topics I'm going to talk about tonight. That was a longer conversation. This is a much condensed version of that presentation, focusing on some of the things that we're concerned with and even seeing with some of the rebuild. So we're going to go through some red flags. We're going to go through some common fraud tactics that we have seen in cases involving unlicensed and licensed contractor fraud. I'm going to give you some steps to protect yourself and then tell you where to go to get help. The first thing I want to talk to you about actually is licensed contractors. So what people are most concerned about most often is the unlicensed contractor coming and attempting to do work. However, I want you to also be aware that there can be concerns with licensed contractors as well. So there's some things I want you to look out for when you're deciding on bringing a contractor onto your job. We are one of our state here in Hawaii. We do not have a statute that it dictates the maximum down payment that can be made to a general contractor, unfortunately. So the fact that a general contractor asks for a large down payment doesn't mean that that's illegal, but it is a red flag I want you to be aware of. Anything beyond 10 or 20% is suspicious, and I want you to look out for. One of the things we've seen is down payments being made for almost the entire contract amount. That is a major red flag and something I want you to be aware of. Anyone who pressures you into an immediate decision. We've got a lot of other jobs. I can do it for you at this price today. I can get my crew out here, within the next couple of weeks. But honestly, you wait any longer and, forget about it. Anyone who puts any kind of pressure on you to get the deal done at the price and the terms that they're dictating, you need to pause and take a step back. That's a red flag. Anyone who offers a significantly lower bid than others. We're going to talk to you about steps that I want you to take when you're trying to find a contractor to take the job and how many bids you should get. If there is an exceptionally low bid and it seems too good to be true, guess what? It probably is. One of the things that you should be doing, and we're going to talk about, is asking for references and asking for proof of surety bonds and insurance. If any contractor is unwilling to give those to you or says they will but never follows through, it's a red flag. A surety bond is something that protects you as the homeowner if the work doesn't get completed as per the contract, if the work gets abandoned. It is insurance, if you will, that the contractor is required to take out as a part of their licensing procedure that protects you, the consumer, you, the homeowner. If they don't provide a detailed written contract, major red flag, right? There's some certain things I want to make sure that you get into any contract. It should be in writing. It should include the scope of work, what materials are going to be involved, the timeline for completion of the project, and then a payment schedule. We're going to talk more about how that payment schedule should look. It should be tied to work that's been completed. We know that we also have unlicensed contractors that operate on this island and are interested in taking advantage of the current situation in Lahaina. Anyone who's soliciting door-to-door by email, by phone call, something I want to raise a red flag, those antennas that you got for potential fraud. Again, if they can't provide proof of bonding or insurance, if you're licensed, you're required to carry those things, all right? Anyone who insists on cash only, major red flag, right? I mean, unlicensed contractors are doing that as a way to avoid taxes, but also to eliminate any type of potential paper trail. Anyone who uses leftover materials from another job, I've had licensed contractors do work at my house where, honestly, I have done that after I've seen the materials myself and made sure that it meets what I wanted to put in my house. But if you're getting sold on, hey, listen, you're not even going to have to buy materials for this because guess what? I got a lot of stuff left over from another job. I can take care of that from you. We're going to knock that off the price. It's a red flag for you, all right? This is a big one. Anyone who asks you to apply for an owner-builder permit, all right? Your licensed contractor is required to go through the permitting process for you. They handle that. Anyone who's asking you as the owner to get the permits, it is a red flag that they are unlicensed. And I'm going to share with you later on how you can do some work to follow up on whether or not the person you're talking to is licensed. So the things we're seeing, obviously price gouging, contractors who are asking for labor rates that are far above market value, any kind of lowballing or change orders, right? So you get a lowball price, and then all of a sudden the contractor comes in with change order after change order after change order, saying that work needs to be done that wasn't planned for. We're going to have to order additional or different materials in order to complete that work. Now, understand that that's a part of any construction project, but when it happens pervasively, it's a major problem. And when it's for work that's unnecessary, that's when we get concerned for you, the homeowner. Substandard work or shoddy materials is something we're always concerned about. And this is a big one, and one we're seeing now and one we've seen even before the fires is abandonment of work, right? So usually it's coupled with collection of a huge down payment, a massive down payment. The work gets started, some materials arrive, and then the work site gets abandoned. And the hope on the contractor side is that, or the unlicensed contractor side, is that they've collected a large down payment, and this, they're hoping, becomes a contractual dispute, something that they're hoping, you won't have the energy or the time to pursue with a civil lawyer, therefore it won't come back on them, and they're not worried about any potential criminal liability, because they're just going to say, well, listen, I mean, we started the work. It's just, we didn't finish it for any of these variety of reasons, but I always intended to go back. Any kind of abandonment of work, obviously, is something we're really worried about and are seeing already. So how can you protect yourself? Verify licenses and insurance, all right? We've got these boards back here with the QR code, and I'm going to give you one here at the end that I'll tell you to all take your phones out and take a picture of. Always check your contractor's license with DCCA, all right? Also, I talked about asking for bonding and insurance. Ask for proof and then call the company to confirm that they've got it, all right? Get multiple bids. This is huge. I know that Uncle So-and-so told you that this contractor was awesome because they did work for them several years ago, right? And you don't need no other bids because you know this person's solid. No. Get a minimum of 3 bids. It helps you do a couple different things, right? Number one, you hear different things from different contractors. You get your own personal sense of their professionalism and their ability to complete the job as contracted. But the other important thing is you get to see outliers, all right? When you get 2 bids that are relatively close to one another and one that's way down here, folks, don't think, wow, I lucked out. This is awesome. I got this bid that's so far below everyone else, that's the one we're going to go with. It's a red flag. If it's an outlier, it's something you need to take a step back with and think about, all right? So get those 3 bids. Demand that detailed written contract. Make sure you've got the scope of work well defined. Make sure you've got your timeline of when the work is going to be completed, what kind of materials are going to be used, and a clear payment schedule. And that payment schedule should be tied to certain milestones, right? So your contractor, if they're on the up and up, should have no problem detailing that when certain steps are completed in the project, you will owe this percentage of the total amount of the contract as we go through. Now, it's not unusual, in fact, it's necessary for there to be funds provided from the homeowner to the contractor to be able to pay for materials. Demand on invoices, estimates, receipts, and pay as you go. Don't make some huge lump sum payment for all the materials that are going to be required throughout the entirety of the job, all right? Never pay in full up front. That is a major red flag. Anyone who's requiring you to pay in full up front is a red flag and something that I want to set off alarm bells with you. Do your research. Check those online reviews, okay? One of the best ones, Better Business Bureau. What we see often is there are a number of complaints with the Better Business Bureau about potential fraudulent activity that never make it to my desk. So check the Better Business Bureau, check Google, check online, ask for references, drive by previous projects, or more importantly right now, ongoing projects. Is there activity at the site, right? Document everything. Keep copies of the contracts, keep copies of all invoices and receipts, and document the work as it progresses, okay? All right, so now you can all take out your phones, all right? I want you to capture this QR code. This is gonna take you to DCCA's Maui Strong website, where they have a host of resources specifically designed to help those of you who are either involved in or going to be involved in the rebuilding process. It includes emails that you can utilize to determine what type of licenses are required by your general contractor and your subcontractors, and what you and to ask for assistance in making sure that everyone involved in the project is licensed. All right. You can look up the Regulated Industry Complaint Office. All right. RICO. This is a division within DCCA that handles all complaints against licensed industries, all right, including general contractors and subcontractors who would be involved in your home rebuild. Check RICO's website. The link is at this QR code. It's one of the many links. Research the contractors and determine if they've had previous RICO complaints and what those are for. Call the numbers on the website. Talk to DCCA about potential pending complaints or resolved complaints, about not only the general contractor, but potential subcontractors, all right? You can go to this website at the top, and again, that link will take you right there. But of course, if you fear that you've been a victim of fraud, I want you to contact the police department, all right? I want you to contact the police department. I want you to contact RICO. And I also put a couple of other numbers up here, including our email address. If you fear that you've been a victim of fraud and you contact and file a police report, I also want you to send an email to my office at this address at the bottom, prosecuting.attorney@mauicounty.gov. The reason is, as these complaints come in, and unfortunately they are, all right, we're starting to see a number of complaints about potential contractor fraud. I want you to send us whatever you send to the Maui Police Department, including a report number if you get it, because we're tracking it on our end. Just yesterday, I had a meeting with the captain of the Criminal Investigation Division to talk about these cases and how we're going to be proceeding on them, all right? So please let us know if you filed a complaint so that we can track it. But I want you to contact RICO and file a complaint. I want you to contact the Maui Police Department. So, key takeaways from this very brief, condensed version of our Fraud Fighters presentation. Be patient. Don't be pressured, all right? Take a step back. Take your time, do your research, and you don't have to rush into any decisions, all right? Verify, verify, verify. Check licenses, check bonds, check insurance. Get absolutely everything in writing. Keep all documents, receipts, and photograph progress. Pay smart. Don't pay in full up front, all right? And make sure that payment is tied to completed work. And finally, and this is perhaps the best advice I can give you, is trust your gut. If something seems wrong to you, it probably is, all right? If you contact one of these other agencies for help, whether it's RICO or the Maui Police Department, and you're not getting the response that you think you should, folks, reach out to us. Call us at 808-270-7777. Email us at prosecuting.attorney@mauicounty.gov. We want to help you. We have people who can help you, all right? So I hope this was helpful to you all. It provided you with a couple kind of key takeaways in a very short period of time. I'll be up here after the rest of the question and answer session. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you folks have. Thank you very much.